Hello everyone, and welcome to module number 2, the second week of class here. I hope you all had an excellent Labor Day weekend. So this is my weekly screencast. I plan to make one of these at the beginning of each week, just to for a couple reasons. To number one, remind you of some important things maybe that are due that week or that need to be done that week. And number two, to kind of bridge the content from the previous week to the current week. Now this week we're not going to really do that too much because last week was kind of an introduction. So it's more going to be about settling in with the course and the structure of the course for the next couple of minutes. But future screencasts will be focused on those two things. So some important reminders and then bridging the previous week's content and the current week's content. So what will happen, I'll post an announcement and send out an email at the beginning of each week with this screencast in there. So the announcement is not there now because I'm making the screencast. It'll be right there though, and you'll get an email. So a couple things I want to talk about this week with reminders, and I'm going to try to keep these short, under 5 minutes definitely, ideally 3 or 4 minutes. So module 2 is the first module where we kind of get in the normal weekly flow of what's due when and all that sort of thing. We're a little bit off this week because we had Labor Day, but the due dates are all still the same. So number one, make sure you always check your to-do list in every module. This lists everything that you need to do for that module, and it also has it should have the due dates for any assignments that are due in there. And we can see that you have your readings. Make sure you read some of the project descriptions here so you're familiar with those. And then we have our first discussion forum. Now discussion forums, if you look at the visual schedule, and we can go back to the visual schedule here real quick. On the syllabus and schedules. And this, remember, if you haven't bookmarked this visual schedule, I highly suggest you do that. This is all the modules and due dates for everything for the whole semester. And so if we look at week 2 here, this is kind of the normal flow of a week. You have your initial post in the discussion forum due on Tuesday by midnight. Your 2 replies to classmates' post due by Thursday at midnight. And then your reflections are due on Friday. Important to note here, your initial replies to the reflections are due by noon. And that's to give you time to post your 2 replies in the reflection form in the reflection Flipgrid by 11:30 or by midnight on Friday, right? So post your initial reflection on the Flipgrid by noon, and then you reply to 2 of your classmates by 11:30. Okay, so next thing I want to talk about real quick. We talked about the discussion forums and the reflection. I want to go to the module here and make sure we know where everything's at. So in the module, they're all structured the same. You have your overview, you have your explore and learn. This is where you'll find all of the, oops, my CC cleaner. Find resources to learn about behaviorism this week. And then the discussion forum we can see is linked right there. And then the Flipgrid will be linked right there in the reflect portion of module 2. One last thing to note, base groups I'll be working on forming the next couple of days. You'll get an email when those are ready along with your base groups. And then if you're in base group 1, your first live synchronous discussion over Zoom will be in module 4. And so you'll get an availability survey sometime later this week so we can all find a time that works for us. I think that's it for now. If you have questions, please send me an email, and have an excellent week.